the matter. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Wednesday, wherever you are. And indeed, a beautiful image to start us off. I hope that you are enjoying your morning, but also I hope that you enjoyed this beautiful, beautiful image of this wonderful cabin out in Sebastopol. Yes, wine country out here in California. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, I'm glad that we're here together. Good morning to you and welcome. And I see you in already. Thank you so much. Yes, Christine, Costa, Miles, and Owen. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for being here. And indeed, good morning to you. And good morning to the rest of the community as well. I'm excited as well, just as you are, for story time. Thank you so much for joining in. And today's story is The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road. And this one is by Sue Lawson and illustrations by Liz ANELLI. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, a big thank you to CANDLEWICK Press for allowing us to share this lovely material here on Storytime. Thank you indeed to all the creatives out there that have allowed us to share so much beauty here on Storytime. Thank you so much for being here with us. And of course, I hope that you enjoyed today's story. The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road. Yes, a delicious book awaits, a delicious story awaits, a heartwarming story awaits us today. Thank you so much for joining in, and good morning to you. Thank you indeed. And I'm glad you're here with me. Yes, indeed. What's your Wednesday been like? Have you been watching the World Cup? Crazy how it's going. Argentina in the finals. Good luck to them. And of course, we see today whether it's Morocco or France that will play them on Sunday. Big game coming up. Big games coming up indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Good morning to you, Nathan and Sarah and the muddy Zoe in wet and soggy Illinois. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And say another beautiful picture seen this morning. Thank you. Please keep submitting them. That was submitted by a friend out in Sebastopol. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, so much beauty around us that we hope we can bring to Storytime every morning. Thank you so much for joining in today. And of course, Amanda, Wes, good morning to you as well. How are you doing today? Sarah and Nathan, one more time. Zoe, sounds like you're having too much fun out there in Illinois. Thank you for being here with us. And I'm glad that you are loving your new home. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Good morning to you, Tara, McNamara, Erin, and Clara on a chilly morning out in Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. I'm excited to be here, excited for our story. And of course, too, let us remember that, we're trying to do our December challenge. So what are we doing today? Well, let's go ahead and look together. What are we doing today? Well, this is our challenge for today. So today is the 14th. Oh my goodness, time is flying midway through December already. Share a happy memory or inspiring thought with a loved one. Oh my goodness, that is a good one. Share a happy memory or inspiring thought with a loved one. Oh, thank you. That is a good one. I will share, since I love you all. So I will share something too. And if you can too, if you want to type it out in there and share with us, not not being presumptuous about us being your loved ones, but if you want to share with us what you will share with your loved ones, please share with us here on Storytime. But today I think my happy memory would be when, let's see, which one do I go with? Oh my goodness. I think there was a time, so I would do this thing where when I was little, over the holidays when it was break, because we would do in Zambia, you go three months of school and then you have a month off, so it's 3-1 3-1 3-1. But most of the times those months off would go to the village, and I got to live with my grandma. And there were times when it was just the two of us, just me and my grandma. And I remember especially particularly before going to bed, she would tell me all these stories. You know, she would tell me a story, and sometimes it was just retelling of what happened in the day, and we would laugh, and then we'd get to sing together. We get to sing together, and before going to bed, I learned from her. Before going to bed, we would always say a little prayer together. So that just for me, that memory is just so special, and that bonding time that I got with my grandma is priceless. Grandma Salia love her to bits. And so yeah, it was just that makes me happy every time. I can still remember the songs we sang, and then you know, the first prayers I said were with her. And so yeah, that's a special one for me. And yeah, I'm glad that we have this, you know, this prompt today to remind me to share that. I might actually call my sisters later on and talk to them about that. But yeah, those lovely memories, singing those songs and saying those little prayers before bed just help me feel safe and help me feel loved. And yeah, and I think that's what makes grandparents extra special, doesn't it? I'm getting all emotional here just thinking about it, but in a good way. I love it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And if you have a story that you want to share, please share with us. But of course, everybody's encouraged today. Please share a happy memory or inspiring thought with a loved one. And yeah, just saying too, like my grandma is gone now, but the memories, the time we spent together, nobody can ever take that away. It is here, you know, and for as long as I have my memory, for as long as I can, you know, like I leave, I'll remember that and I'll treasure it. And it gives me warm thoughts every time. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me share. Thank you indeed for being here with us on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you all. Thank you indeed. Good morning, Pamela Courtney. We've not seen you here in a long time. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing, Braylon, Chad, Auntie Anne? Good to see you all recovered. Braylon surgery. Oh, yes, and happy to be back with our Storytime family. Well, I'm glad that you are back here. Thank you so much. And so sorry I didn't get to check in when everything was happening. Thank you so much for being here. Ground's heavy with rain after last night's storm, but here we are. Yay. No, thank you so much. Thank you indeed for being here. Good to see you back. Braylon, Chad, Auntie Anne, thank you for being here. And of course, Pamela Courtney, thank you for joining us. And we do have a wonderful story today. The cookie maker of Mavin Road. And if you've not been catching Storytime the last few, while you've been out, we've been doing a challenge from Action for Happiness, and they have a good deed, something to do each day. And today, the 14th, of course, we're saying share a happy memory or inspiring thought with a loved one. It can be with us here, or it can be with a loved one at home. It can be a loved one over the phone, however you decide to do that. But I hope that you get a chance to do that too. And of course, I'll reshare this in the Storytime platforms so that everybody has access to it. And a big thank you indeed to Action for Kindness. Good morning to you, Pamela Courtney, Braylon, Chad, Auntie Anne. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you here. Susan, Adrian, well, happy holidays to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Grandmas are special. Absolutely, I can attest. Thank you so much for joining in. Got my coffee and kids are so close with their Nana. Oh, that is lovely indeed. Those relationships, when you have such close relationships, treasure them, enjoy them. And yeah, you know, as you know, kids grow up quickly. parents grow up. Everybody grows up so fast. Time moves fast. So enjoy those moments that we get together. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And Susan Adrian, thank you for sharing that as well. Happy holidays to you. Auntie Pam isn't here. Okay, well, we're sending her love. We're sending her love. She's been busy with edits. Oh my goodness, I can only imagine. Pamela Courtney, wishing you the very best. I'm glad that everybody is here though. Braylon, Chad, Auntie Ann, thank you so much. Pamela Courtney, we send you extra hugs as you work on your edits. Good luck. Thank you so much for joining in, everybody. Are we ready for our story for today? Well, this one is coming up. The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road. And this one is written by Sue Lawson, illustrations by Liz ANELLI. And we're reading this one with permission of the publishers, CANDLEWICK Press. Thank you so much for joining in. Get ready, get comfortable, get cozy, and join me on the other side of this very short message when we are back for story time for today. Thank you for being here, and I will catch you on the other side. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. LaMotta. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody, and welcome back. Yes, indeed, Amanda mentions listening to other stories and sharing our own stories is the only way that we come to understanding of each other, to a better understanding. It will never be the perfect understanding, but it gets us closer to building those better relationships and better understanding of our communities. So let us strive to do that. Listen to others' stories and, of course, allow others to share theirs as well, as authentic as it can be. Thank you so much for joining in. The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road is here. And this one is coming from Sue Lawson and Liz ANELLI. And of course, reading this one with permission of CANDLEWICK Press. Here we go. The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road, written by Sue Lawson, illustrations by Liz ANELLI, and read with permission of the publishers, CANDLEWICK Press. Benedict Stanley and his cat, Audrey May, live at 23 Mavin Road. Each morning they greet their neighbors, but ears are too full and mouths too stay closed. Perhaps tomorrow, Benedict Stanley sighs. Perhaps tomorrow, indeed. And that's all you can do sometimes, right? Play your part. And hopefully something changes. Benedict Stanley and his cat, Audrey May, live at 23 Mavin Road. Each morning they greet their neighbors, but ears are too full and mouths stay closed. Perhaps tomorrow, Benedict Stanley sighs. Perhaps tomorrow indeed. And you can see there, good morning, hello. Nobody seems to answer. Everybody's too busy. Headphones in ears. Life can move a little too fast at times. Benedict and Audrey May patter and plant until legs weary and shoulders tired. From the patio, they watch the comings and goings on Mavin Road. Yes, indeed. From their patio, they watch the comings and goings of Mavin Road. Is your street like Mavin Road? Everybody busy? I like your cat, says a young neighbor one morning. Benedict smiles. Her name is Audrey May. I am Rory. The tooth fairy is visiting me tonight. Did you know? Ah. In his kitchen, Benedict Stanley reaches for his wife's recipe book. He sifts and folds, shapes and bakes way into the evening. Ah. Look at the smile on his face. It shows you a little hello can go a long way. I like your cat, says a young neighbor one morning. Benedict smiles. Her name is Audrey May. I am Rory. The tooth fairy is visiting me tonight. Did you know? In his kitchen, Benedict Stanley reaches for his wife's recipe book, excited. He sifts and folds, shapes and bakes way into the evening. Can you smell the cooking? Can you hear the clanging and clinging of pots and pans? Before the joggers puff and the walkers strut, Benedict and Audrey May make a special delivery. Oh my goodness. I should check my door. Maybe my delivery arrived too. Check yours after story time. Maybe Benedict Stanley and Audrey May brought you something too. Love it. Each morning after that, Benedict and Audrey May deliver cookies along Mavin Road. Shortbread when triplets arrive home. Chocolate chip to welcome new neighbors. Oh, yum, chocolate chip. And ghosts and gauze for Halloween. Who is making the cookies? The neighborhood wonders. Someone kind, says Rory. And I'm not telling who. Yes, indeed. Shortbread. Oh, shortbread and tea. Sounds so good right now. Yes, each morning after that, Benedict and Audrey May deliver cookies along Mavin Road. Who is making the cookies? The neighborhood wonders. Benedict and Audrey May make cat cookies with currant eyes after a kitten rescue. And soccer cookies after a tournament. Bro, tastes good. Where are these from? Well, from somewhere good. Rory says one more time, knowing exactly where they're from. Benedict and Audrey May make cat cookies with currant eyes after a kitten rescue. And soccer cookies after a tournament. Oh yes, cookies and milk. Yum. One evening, an aching and snuffling Benedict Stanley shuffles to bed. Oh no. The dance reciter cookies stay on the cooking rack. On the cooling rack. There are no bike cookies after a ride without training wheels. And no ambulance shortbread with cherry lights after a tumble from a roof. I hope you feel better, Benedict Stanley. Where are the cookies? Benedict Stanley wheezes and sneezes. Audrey May prowls and yowls. Where is the cookie maker? Everybody wonders. Perhaps she was just visiting. Perhaps. You can see the concern on Rory's face too. Where is the cookie maker? Perhaps she was just visiting. It's possible. Where's the cookie maker? More people ask, more people wonder. Maybe she's on vacation. Rose petals fall and cabbages wilt Outside Rory's house, a cat prowls and yowls. Oh. Where could it be? Where is the cookie maker? What's happening? It's Audrey May, Rory says. Who's Audrey May? The others wonder, who's Audrey May? Later that afternoon, Benedict Stanley shuffles down the hall to answer a knock at the door. Audrey May came visiting. And look who's visiting back. Oh. Oh. Yay. Ad for community. Oh. Thank you, Audrey May, for getting the help we needed. Oh, look at that. Everybody in the neighborhood came. In the sunshine, Benedict Stanley and Audrey May watch while their neighbors patter and prune, laugh and chat. Oh, what a beautiful sight indeed. Yes, in the sunshine, Benedict Stanley and Audrey May watch while their neighbors patter and prune, laugh and chat. Yes. Oh, beautiful indeed. By New Year's Eve, Benedict Stanley feels much better. Oh, yay. How are the decorations in your neighborhood? Can they match Mavin Road? Yes. By New Year's Eve, Benedict Stanley feels much better. Oh. Audrey May watches as Rory and their friends sift and shape Benedict Stanley's sprinkles and swirls and smiles. Oh. Yes, indeed. And of course, if you want to try this out, I will post it later. You can check out Benedict Stanley and Audrey May's basic cookie recipe. And there it is at the end of our book. So if you get it from the library, be sure to check the back. But also be sure to check back here on the Storytime platforms as we will put it up for you. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. That is the end of our story, The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road. Join me on the other side of this very short break.
Hello, I'm Olalu Oganyemi, officer in the United States Marine Corps and author of Crow from the Shadow. You are tuned in with my brother on Storytime with Mr. Lamada. Enjoy and God bless.
Thank you indeed, and welcome back, Olaolu Ogunyemi, author of many books, but of course, Crow from the Shadow, as mentioned, and as well as Billy Dipper's Time to Shine and Horace the Horsefly. So be sure to check those out. Thank you so much today for joining in for this sweet book indeed, The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road. Just another reminder again why it is important to check in on each other, check in on our neighbors, and just make sure that everybody's okay. A little hello can go a long way indeed. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'm glad that you are here. But before we go to, I do have a special mention, and this one is called Fred Korematsu Speaks Up, and it is written by our good friend here, Stan Yogi and Laura Atkins. Good friends indeed, and wonderful book. And their approach, this whole series, the Fighting for Justice series, is so powerful, and just the way they've done it in retelling history the way it should be. and no holding back, telling it as is, and really indeed putting activities in there, to questions to ponder and think about. And if you don't know much about Fred Korematsu, I encourage you to find this book at your local library, or indeed where you find books, and get to dive in and read this wonderful book, read this retelling of history, and just see how much we have to learn from Fred Korematsu and others like him. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Glad we were here together. And if you missed the Social Justice Children's Book Holiday Fair, there are streams on the Storytime platforms, and live at 10s we did get to talk to Laura and Stan Yogi, and you can hear a little bit more about their work there too. So thank you so much for joining in today. Glad you are here for the Cookie Maker of Mavin Road. But tomorrow we're back. We're back. Yes, the Storytime family is going to visit and will be reading Mikasa is My Home. Yes, indeed. This one coming to us from Lauren Sala and Zara Gonzalez Hong. So please do join us tomorrow and get to enjoy this one. Coming back to Storytime after almost a full year. Last time we read this one was January 2022. So glad to have it back here. And indeed, I hope that you enjoy it. We'll be trying to brush up on my Spanish as we come to read this one tomorrow. So be ready to help me. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. And our image today was submitted, and it is beautiful, a beautiful cabin out there in Sebastopol. Look at that, Sebastopol, California, out in wine country. Thank you so much for the submission. And of course, thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. And let us see one more time who was with us enjoying that wonderful story. Thank you so much for being here. Owen and Miles, thank you for joining us. And I'm glad that you were here and excited for story time. And I hope that it did not disappoint. Our book today was The Cookie Maker of Mavin Road. Thank you so much for joining us. And Kristen Costa as well, wishing you a wonderful day indeed. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you, Amanda. Where's Sarah and Nathan? And of course, Zoe. Hopefully all cleaned up, or maybe you're still out there playing. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy you are here with us, coming in from out there in Soggy, Illinois. Another beautiful picture scene this morning. We're glad to share. Please do share pictures so we can share them here on Storytime, of course, with your permissions. Tara McNamara, Erin and Clara out in Massachusetts, chilly Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you, Braylon, Chad, Auntie Anne. And Braylon, I'm glad you're all recovered. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy to be back on Storytime family. Well, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Ground's heavy with rains from last night's storm, but here we are. Yay, absolutely indeed. Here we are. Thankful for the rain. And of course, keeping thoughts for those that are affected by the adverse weather conditions, whether it's extreme rain, extreme heat, whatever is affecting others. We think of them and, of course, send well wishes and our loving prayers. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. Thank you. Pamela Courtney, all the best with your edits, with your work. Thank you for being here. Happy holidays, Susan. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, you're saying grandmas are special. Got my coffee and my kids are so close with their nana. It is a special feeling indeed. It is a special relationship. Thank you so much for joining in. And just on that too, Susan, remember too that we are participating here on Storytime with the Action for Kindness challenge. And this one asks us to do one kind act every single day this December. Yes, December Kindness 2022. And today being the 14th, right there around the center, if you see it, it says, share a memory or inspiring thought with a loved one. Thank you so much for being here indeed. And I hope that you're able to practice that one this morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Pamela Courtney, all the best with your work. Thank you. Thank you. Daki Sherpa, thank you so much for joining us. Maya, go back to the beginning and you can still catch story time. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Have yourselves a wonderful day indeed. Maybe Maya will wake up earlier soon, getting ready for preschool. Well, thank you for being here. If you're up early, you happen to be up early, we're here for story time. Thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful day at school. And of course, Taki Sherpa, have yourself a wonderful day too. And is it Pema? How is Pema doing? Thank you so much for joining in, sending you extra love. And we'll see you here on Storytime when we are back tomorrow for Mikasa is My Home. Join us tomorrow for this one. Also coming from Candlewick Press. Thank you for being here, friends. I wish you nothing but the very best. This has been Storytime for today. This has been Storytime for this wonderful Wednesday morning. And this is Storytime this week, bringing us amazing books. And we will continue to research and run around and find those wonderful books indeed. Thank you to everybody that keeps sharing books with us, keeps sharing recommendations with us, because we are indeed keeping a tally of all of those, and we are working to bring them here to Storytime. Much love from me, and I will see you again when we're back tomorrow for more Storytime. Have yourselves a wonderful day indeed. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. Bye-bye. Oh, did I miss somebody? Thank you. Right, Pema, have a wonderful day at school. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Daki Sherpa, and of course, Maya, enjoy your day at preschool as well. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Much love from me. Bye-bye, everybody.
Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.